Okay, so we're going to go to Excel, and the first step in creating a graph is
Getting your information.
good, getting your information, gathering your data, and putting it into a data table. For this graph today, I'm going to give you the data. This graph, I'm going to give you the data. You're going to want to skip cell A1, and in cell A2, we're going to type in high temperature, and in cell A3, we're going to type in low temperature. You guys are going to be creating a double line graph for the high and low temperature for the next 7 days. So, in cell B1, we're going to write today, so just Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Now, I've collected your data for you. I took it off the Care 11 website for the next 7 days for Outlook. So I'll leave this data up here for you to refer to. So you will have it up on the screen so that you can fill that in. So very simply, we have 28, 14, 23, 17, 34, 24, 33, 16, 16, 20, 9, 33, 23, 28, and 18. So I got my data in. First step. Next step, I'm going to tell my computer what I want to graph. I do that by highlighting the cells. Yes, you do want to highlight these cells over here. Highlight the cells, charts. We're going to go to line graphs. And for this one, we want to use a marked line graph because we want to see each data point. There are sometimes graphs where you're just looking for a trend. Is the line going up or is the line going down? And if you're doing those, then these types will be okay. But if you're doing something that you have a specific data point, probably want to have a marked line graph. I'm going to go ahead and click on it, and it's going to automatically put it in for me. Very, very easy, not difficult. Now, temperature is a word that is frequently misspelled. If you misspell it here, it's going to show up misspelled over here. So let's say I forgot the E. You can see that it automatically changes. So if you happen to misspell something and you have to go back and fix it, all you need to do is click in that cell and it will fix it for you on the graph. So you don't need to redo your graph. You don't need to start over. Just fix it in your data table and it will automatically fix it over here. Okay. Now we need to get into customizing it. So I'm going to go ahead and click on my graph. When I click on it, I get these extra tabs that come up. Again, if I'm not clicked on my graph, those things are not going to appear. So you have to make sure, if you're not seeing them, it's because you're not clicked on your graph. So click on your graph. We're going to go to chart layout, and we're going to start with our chart title. Now, in grading your last assignment, this is where most of you lost your points. Your chart title, you want to be very specific with it so that people know exactly what you're looking at. Many of you were very general and you were not specific enough on that. So make sure for this graph, you add more detail to that chart title. Okay, so a good example for a chart title might be high and low temperature for the upcoming 7 days. Be very specific. I'm not just saying high and low temperature. We don't know what high and low temperature for what. Yeah, I'm being very specific about what my chart title is, what this is. Okay? All right. I'm also going to want to add a horizontal axis. What's my horizontal axis title going to be? Yeah.
Well, it's describing what's at the bottom.
Hey, and for this one, it's going to be
The days.
days. Yeah, days. Okay.
So we only have to put days.
Yep. Okay, let's talk about your vertical axis. The best way to think about this is how is this being measured? How is this being measured? Any ideas? Yes.
Temperature.
But that's not telling me how it's being measured. It's telling me what's being measured. That's up here. How is it being measured? Yeah.
Fahrenheit.
Good. Degrees Fahrenheit. Degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm going to go ahead and type that in. Fahrenheit. How many of you knew how to spell that? Kind of a tricky word, right? Just remember you are on a computer. So yes, of course you could do spell check. However, spell check in a graph is a little tricky, so you'd want to spell it over here, off of the graph, do spell check, and then go back and retype it in. But even better, you guys are on a computer. One of the best ways that you could do a spell check is just go ahead and bring up a web browser, do a Google search. So let's say I spelled it F-A-R-E-N-I-G-H-T. Okay? Let's say I did that. It's going to say, did you mean Fahrenheit? Does everybody see that? It's going to tell you exactly how to spell it. So if you ever come across that where you don't know how to spell things, of course, yes, you can use spell check. This is another place you could go. Okay? Make sure you spell it correctly. Okay? All right, let's go back to our graph here. And I want to talk about a couple things. Number one, somebody asked in the last class, can you use data labels? Yes, of course you can. When you use the data labels, you'll notice, though, that these are pretty compacted together, a little hard to read. Just want to point out that you can make your chart area bigger to help with that. When you print a graph on here, it actually prints one size. It prints the size of the paper. So it really doesn't matter what size it is on your Excel spreadsheet, if it's very small or very big, because when you print it, it prints the same size. Okay? So you can make it bigger if that's easier for you to read the data and to see what you have. Okay? So you might want to include those data points just because there's a lot of them. You have 7 days. You might also want to include possibly some major grid lines just to separate out the days and make it a little bit easier to see which day where the points line up. Do we need to have a legend on this?
No.
We don't?
No.
If I don't have this, do I know what is what?
No.
Not really. I mean, kind of, because it's a high temperature and a low temperature, and you know that the high temperature is probably going to be higher than the low one, right? But because it's a double line graph and you have 2 lines, you really do need to have a legend that says what each line represents. Okay? So yes, you need to have a legend. It will automatically come up for you. I'm simply bringing this up so that you don't delete it and put no legend, and because you can change the location of that legend if you want to. Okay? Other quick things. I want you to customize this graph. And I'm going to be a little bit pickier on this customization. You must customize at least one of the lines. I want to see that you know how to customize at least one of the lines. So let's go through how to do that. We're going to go ahead and click on that line. Okay. And I want to make sure. There we go. I want to make sure I get all of them. Okay. and I'm going to right click on that and format the data series. Okay? Once I'm up here, right, I'm going to start by changing my line color. Maybe I want it purple. Okay? You can see that it changed it to purple here. It also changed it over here. Does that automatically for you. Did it change the little dots? No. Let's go through how to do that. Marker style. Maybe I don't want a circle. Maybe I want a triangle. You can see that now I have triangles in those areas instead of circles. Another way to customize it. Maybe I want to fill in that marker, and right now it's blue. Maybe I want to fill it in with, I don't know, yellow, just because. You can see it's now filled that in. It also has changed it over here to match. I want you to customize at least one of your lines. Can you do both? Sure, absolutely. Okay. Can you still change the background and some of these other things that we've been working on? Yes, yes you can. But for sure, change at least one of your lines. Yes.
I know we need to customize one of the lines. How many times should we customize?
It's up to you. At least once. At least once. I just want to know you know where it is and that you know how to do it. Okay? All right. So this is our general graph. This graph is due next Friday. So you're going to get some extra time because on Tuesday we don't have class. We'll be at DSM for our Christmas concert. And I like to have assignments due when you actually have computer class. So you have a little bit of extra time to get this graph done. Does anybody have any questions on this graph? All right.